So basically today I just want to just share a few things from the heart about things that are happening, that we're feeling, because we went through a terrible tragedy and we're still in this processing phase. And in this phase of processing, there's nothing to say, there's nothing to explain, there's just being. And what I mean by that is just being not okay. And allowing that to be our experience of just that we're going through a very tragic time. And tonight the whole yeshiva is going to a levaya. We're going to a funeral of one of the people who were killed, and Donnie Morris. And we just want to be able to be there. As I understand, there's only a few people that can come in. I don't think anybody except his parents right now are able to come in, as I understand. And so for us just to be there and just to go through this trauma together with this family is a very important thing. Because Klal Yisrael is very special, in that we're totally unified in every single part of existence. We're unified in our simchas, and we're also unified in our tragedies, which means we go through things completely together. There's nothing that you're alone. That's why a big part of going through this time now is just to be together. That's why in a shiva we have laws, we have halachas. That during the mourning period, a Jew should not be alone. He, in a certain way, he's met with quite the opposite. His house becomes essentially filled with people that don't live there, and he is almost completely surrounded by loved ones, and oftentimes that people he never even met before. But just that he should be with people, that Klal Yisrael, because of the nature of us being so unified, that the Jewish nation is completely one. It's completely unified. Therefore we go through things together. The Gemara says that Atem Kruim Adam. The Klal Yisrael is called Adam, it's called man. And people had a hard time understanding this. What does that mean? Is that some type of a racist Gemara? And obviously the answer is no. So they had to ask the greatest Torah sage of the time, of Meir Shapiro. They said, what does this mean? That Klal Yisrael is called Adam. So he said, just like a man, when his baby toe hurts, you think that it's separate than his body? Of course not. The whole body feels the baby toe. And if a person, if their hand is hurting, their left hand, does the right hand somehow feel, oh, good thing it's not my right hand, good thing it's only the left hand that's hurting? Of course not. If the left hand is hurting, the right hand is also feeling that, because it's all one unified being. And he explained that that's what it means that Klal Yisrael is called Adam, called one man, one being, one human. Because anybody from Klal Yisrael who goes through something, we all feel it. You could have somebody across the world who goes through a tragedy, we all feel it. We're never alone. The entire of Klal Yisrael is called Adam. We're all unified in this experience right now, completely. That's why we're all so shaken up, because we feel like it's us. It's us that's going through this. It's us that's going through this message from Hashem. And the Rosh Yeshiva said it's an amazing thing. And he quoted the Gemara, which is on the Daf Yomi, from the days of Lag BaOmer. And the Rosh Yeshiva said that there was miracles that happened in the Beis HaMikdash, and that one was that people were never crushed, even though they were totally suffered, they were totally squeezed in together, so tightly packed into the temple in Jerusalem that you were basically floating in the air. You were so. But you know what? When you had to bow down, You know what it says? They had tons of space. There was some miraculous reality. And it was a miracle that no one was ever crushed, except there was 1 year. There was 1 year that someone was crushed. And they made that a Passover that would never be forgotten. And like the Rosh Hashiva said, that for so many years that we came to Reb Shimon, which when you really think about what Reb Shimon represents, what Lag BaOmer represents, it represents that unity of the Jewish people. Like I was telling people before, I said just get ready to dance with every single type of Jew. Black kippah, blue kippah, rainbow kippah, no kippah, yes payas, no payas, strimel, no strimel, not in your head and then it gets put on your head. Every type of color, every type of yid, it doesn't matter. We're all there together. And the amount of kindness, the amount of free food, people pay for that. How much kugel did people eat? Some people said, I just kept going back, they just kept giving me kugel. It was unlimited chesed. And look, this year was even more. Containers, takeaway, with children, everything free. The chesed, just think people, there are righteous Yidden who spent millions of dollars that people should come to celebrate Torah, to celebrate the unification of Klal Yisrael. And this has been going on for almost 2,000 years. And that there was never such a thing. And then 1 year we have such a Lag BaOmer, where there are Jews that are crushed, as a message for us never to forget. As a message for us, I'm just echoing the words of our dear Rosh Hashiva, of a message of unification, of getting back to the core point of Rabbi Shimon, which is complete unification. And the Zohar itself says about Reb Shimon why he was so wondrously successful in revealing all the secrets of Torah. And he said in very, very clear language, he said, Anan b'chavivusa tal yinilsa. All of us are Chavraya Kadisha. You know how we were able to reveal the greatest mysteries of life and to reveal Hashem's wisdom in the most profound way possible? Because we had chavivut. Chavivus means we were so loving to each other. Reb Shimon said the reason why we could do everything we did is we really loved each other in the most amazing ways. And that's what you feel when you come to Reb Shimon. And therefore we don't know, we're not prophets, we don't know the reasons. And I'm just echoing the words of the Rosh Hashiva. There's some message though of loving Jews, of loving humanity, loving people, of really, really coming together and loving. And I was reading Rav Shimshon Pinkus on Shabbos with my wife, and he was speaking about in the times of the Migdal Bavel, the Tower of Babylon, that people lost the appreciation for each other. And it says that when they would build this tower that they were building, and a rock fell, a stone fell, and they didn't have that stone, they didn't have that brick anymore, they would sit Shiva. They would mourn the fact that they lost the brick. That we don't have this vision of this plan of ours to rebel against God, whatever that means. But if God forbid a human being fell off the tower, they didn't blink an eye. They would sit Shiva because that person's expendable. The brick, we lost the brick. We're not going to have that brick. We lost this vision of ours. But the holiness of the individual, the holiness of every single person, meaning so much. The power of the Adam, of the feeling, for every single person, of Adam. We sing in the song of Rabbi Shimon, Nase Adam, when the Torah says, let us make man, Nemar Bavurecha. If you open up your Genesis and it says, let us make man, we say that was referring to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the perfected man, which means total feeling, total integration, total feeling of the entire experience. It was 45 neshamas that died and now share the yurtzeit with Rabbi Shimon, which means those 45 souls, on the same day that Rabbi Shimon went to heaven, Shimon is taking those neshamas up to the highest place. And we want to think about those neshamas. We want to strengthen our loving of other people. We're going to have some learning programs on Thursday night, Friday morning, like we mentioned, of really learning about what it means to love other people. Not just learning it cerebrally, but going out of our comfort zone to help other people in a very real way. In the same way that an Adam feels. A person feels every single part of himself. That Klal Yisrael feels every single part. And 45 is the Gematria Adam. We don't know the secrets of Hashem, only Hashem knows. The Rosh Hashiva told us that we want to feel really close to our brethren, our brothers, sisters, and how can I do more for them? What can I do more? How can I be more connected? How can I be less just in myself and more in love in the ones around me? How can I be more integrated into this one Adam called Klal Yisrael, called the entirety of the Jewish people? I just want to read you the names of those that we lost right now in this horrible tragedy. And first, just mentioning that we're all going tonight to the Levaya for Danny Morris, Zechron Livracha, from Tinei. And my wife called me today. She said, "You should look. That they have a picture. They have a picture of all those that were in Nifter, and they have a picture of Danny. And the picture is him, as I understand, it's at Meron. I don't know how long before. It looks like it was already nighttime before he was Nifter. And if you look at his face, he's so happy. I was not crying. My wife, I said, "Thank you so much for telling me that." That there's an image, the last that we have of him, of being so happy, his face just shining in that unity of being in Meron. And we lost 45 neshamas, 45 tzaddikim. And there's a message for us to strengthen ourselves in loving, and being an Adam, completely integrating with Klal Yisrael. Ariel Adud, 21 years old. Of Yisrael Al Nakva, 24 years old, from Beit Shemesh, father of two. Avram Daniel Ambon, 21 years old, from Argentina. Of Moshe Bergman, 24, from the Mir Yeshiva. Of Yonasan Chevroni, father of three. Yedidia Chiyus, 13 years old. Liao Cohen, 16 years old, Breslov Chassid from Beitar. Simcha Bonham Diskin, 23 years old. Chaim Doron, 41 years old. Moshe Mordechai Elchad Sharf, 12 years old. And his brother Yosef David, 18 years old. Two brothers, Yoshua Englander, 9 years old. Moshe Natan Englander, 14 years old. Tzadik Mordechai Yoel ben Avram, Yaakov Mordechai Fekete, 23 years old. Yedidia Asher Fogel, 22 years old. Elazar Gefnet, 52 years old. Of Shragi Gestitner from Montreal, who just came here, left his family to come just for Lag BaOmer, father of 6, family not able to come. Rav Eliezer Mordechai Goldberg, 37 years old, father of 4. Of Yosef Greenbaum, 22. Of Eliezer Tzvi Yosef, 26, father of 4. Nachman Kirschbaum, 15 years old, from Beit Shemesh. Shmuel Tzvi Klasbaum, 34 years old. Menachem Knoblowitz, who just became a chassan 2 weeks ago. Yossi Cohen, 21 years old, from Cleveland, learning in Mir Yeshiva. Eliezer Yitzchak Koltai, 13 years old. Of David Kraus, 33 years old, father of 9 children. Shlomo Zalman Leibowitz, 19 years old. Yosef Yehuda Levi, 17 years old. Moshe Levi, 14 years old. Children, their whole life ahead of them. Yosef Masterov, 26 years old. Of Shimon Matlon, 37 years old. Yishai Ma'ulam, 17, who came with his friend Yosef Yehuda Levi. Donnie Morris, 19 years old, from Teaneck, Talmud and Shalavim. That I heard from one of the Talmidim, he said there's good kids, there's really good kids, and then there's those kids. The ones that are so special, the most special, the brightest, that have that chen v'chashivas. Donnie Morse, Zechron Livracha. Chaim Rak, of Yehuda Lev Rubin, 27, father of 3. Chaim Ozer Seller, 24. Moshe Ben Shalom, 21 years old. Elkanan Sheila, 29. Of Chanach Solad, 52. Dov Steinmetz, from Canada, student in Mir Yeshiva. Yaakov Elchanan Strakovsky, 20 years old. Yosef Amram Tauber, of Ariel Tzadik, 56, from Yerushalayim. Of Moshe Tzarfati, 65. Of Menachem Asher Zekbach, 24. And he left behind his pregnant wife. Hashem always has a plan, and we don't know why he does things. Certainly not to get lost in the externals of thinking that we know the reasons for things and this thing and pointing fingers, and it's just completely unintentional. No guilt for people for anything that happened. Totally unintentional. And we can echo the words of the Rosh Yeshiva, that there's a message for us to think right now, what am I doing in my life where I could feel more a part of feeling the needs of Klal Yisrael, more a part of being there in a very real way, and to strengthen ourselves in that. Of that message of these tzaddikim, these kadoshim, that we have to feel. We're not robots, we're not stones, that we feel. And we feel and we go through that pain. And then we see, now what can I do to move forward? What is this message to me? It's certainly a message. Hashem does things for a reason, and we're here to wake up from these messages. And like we're learning Reb Nachman, even if we don't know the Seichel, Shebechol Davar, we attach ourselves to the Nun, to the Malchus, which is Hashem. Whatever it is that you want me to know from this, help me. I'm given over to your will. I just want to serve you in a very, very pure way. And I want to do the things that are going to allow your countenance to shine, which we all want. Hashem loves us so much. He has so much love for us. It's clear that these are things that are not the rule, these are the exception when something like this happens, and it's horrible. And we want to strengthen ourselves now that we can see much blessing and bracha and goodness, that Hashem should shower that upon us. Right now there's a lot of shivas and there's a lot of levayas happening, and our job is just to be there with the families. We don't give reasons for anything, but we're here to just be there and just feel the pain and go through and to be unified with the families, and to show in our way that you're not alone. That you're not alone, that we're together in this, we're going through this together. If you see people that need to talk about things, be there for your friends. Make sure that you give each other a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to cry on, just to be there, to talk things out. It's very, very important to process and talk things out, and then to take it into lemaisa, and to move it into something that I can do now, to help the tragedy to become something tangible. Because here we had Hoyd Nefach Lamashtis. It's such a day of Hoyd Sheba Hoyd to turn into such a tragedy. And we want to tell Hashem that we're always going to have appreciation for every Yid. We always want to have a heart of flesh. We never want to do anything that would hurt somebody. And this is the entire preparation for Kabbalah Torah. That we only got the Torah because K'ish Echad B'Leivecha, that we stood at Mount Sinai. There's a lot of Jews in Mount Sinai, totally unified. V'yichan Sham Yisrael Neged Ahar, K'ish Echad B'Leivecha. We are totally unified. And the Sfarim point out, the Nachman, the Marsha, that V'yichan Sham, we had Chayin. We had Chayin, that there was grace, that we saw each other in a beautiful way at Mount Sinai. And when you see another Yid in a beautiful way, so the Torah could flow into our hearts. And now's the time to put all of our focus on how can I see somebody in a beautiful way. You know, we always have a way of, if somebody else does something that's not good, we always have 50,000 ways to say how, I'm sure that wasn't good for this reason or that reason, he did this. But if you do something, we have every single way to say, no, he really deserved it, he had it coming to him. But I'm in the right. When somebody else does something, he's always in the wrong. But when I did something, I had 50,000 reasons why I'm in the right. Next time that you feel like that's happening, that somebody else is in the wrong, do something radical. Actually, for 1 second, imagine yourself that you are them. Flip yourself and imagine that you were in his shoes. And now try to think of the 5,000 things that you would have said about yourself, why it would be okay that you would have done this. All the reasons that you would have exonerated yourself. And take one of those reasons and just put it on that other person. And don him l'chafskus. Say that he's meritorious. And then spread that to all the other Yidden as much as you possibly can. To find something. To never see something not good about another Yid, ever. It seems like a tall order, but Hashem is asking us to see the good. To see the good. Not to look bad in any way on another Yid. Anan b'chavivusa tal yemilsa. To have a tremendous unity, not as lip service, but going out of your comfort zone and projecting good to other Yid in the Reish Pei base, essentially. Seeing the good as much as we possibly can, and being with the families during this time. We should be zoicha b'siyat d'shmaya. Like we say, bila mavis l'netzach, the time will come with Mashiach when all death will be removed from the world once and for all. It will be swallowed up. Death will be gone. That day should come soon. That we'll only have life and chiyas for all eternity. We should see B'Sur Tevis and the Chama for all the Avlei Tzion of Yerushalayim, all those mourners, the mourners of Zion, of Yerushalayim, that are going through unthinkable pain right now. And let us be with our brothers and sisters in that pain. You don't even have to say anything, just be there. Just be there. Be in that pain together. Let's restore the Adam of Klal Yisrael, the unity of all of us, that we feel everything that we're all going through, the highs and the lows, the simchas and the tragedies. And with that, we'll be zoicha, we'll have the merit of elevating all of us to such a level where death will finally be removed from the world once and for all, and Mashiach will come, and we'll have the binyan Beis Hamikdash b'mehera v'yameinu amen. It should be a big nechama, B'Sur Tevis, all the families. We're going to be